Before we start, let us first briefly introduce the German language. The users of the language are mainly located in Europe's Germany, Austria, northern Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and Luxembourg. On the left, the places are marked yellow on the world map, and on the right is the map enlarged. The following is its language family. The topic we discuss here concerns the velar and palatal fricatives in the German language. Here are the words relevant to this topic, and the words in quotes are the corresponding English meaning.
Nicht, rächen, schlecht, riechen, heimlich, rechts, kriechen, Bach, lachen, kocht, versuchen, hoch, Flucht, verflucht.
Question A asks you to decide if the sounds h and sh are allophones of the same phoneme, or is each an allophone of a separate phoneme. Question B says that if you do conclude that they are allophones of one phoneme, then you should find and state a rule that can describe how to derive one sound from the other. To start off, we should try and find minimal pairs. After checking, we will find there are none. So that means there's a good chance that there are allophones in complementary distribution. In step 2, we compare the environments of sh and h. We color the vowels that appear just before these two sounds in red. After observing, we find that the sound sh must be preceded by the vowels e, a, or a. Meanwhile, the sound h must be preceded by the vowels a, o, u, or u. Because their sound environments do not overlap, so sh and h are in complementary distribution. Next, we further analyze the vowels just mentioned. The sound sh can be preceded by 4 different vowels. We have circled the location of the tongue responsible for producing these vowels in red. We can see that these are front vowels. The sound h can be preceded by 5 different vowels. We have again circled the location of the tongue responsible for producing these vowels, but this time in blue. We can see that these are non-front vowels. In other words, it is the center or the back of the tongue that is producing these sounds. We can make a conclusion here. Sh and h are in complementary distribution. Since h only occurs after non-front vowels and sh only occur after front vowels, this means they are allophones of the same phoneme. In step 3, we determine which sound is the default. As we previously discussed, h can follow after 5 different vowels, but sh can only follow after 4 different vowels. Because the sound h appears in a greater number of sound environments, we will treat it as the default. Next, we try and establish a rule. As we just mentioned, the 5 upper vowels all belong to center or back vowels. Meanwhile, the 4 lower vowels all belong to front vowels, or alternatively, non-back and non-central vowels. So the allophone h becomes the sound sh. Let us describe this rule in words. The phoneme h is or becomes sh when it is following a front vowel, which is also known as a non-back and non-central vowel. If we write this rule in feature notations, it will look as below. Observe here, the color of each notation corresponds with the words above. We note that the two rules here have the exact same meaning. In one, we write the rule in terms of front vowel, but in the other, we write the rule in terms of non-back and non-central vowel. The following are answers from the publisher, which can be used as a reference. If you are uncertain or want more information on the topic we just discussed, here are a few useful links. The first is an animation of the pronunciation of the sound sh. The second is an animation of the pronunciation of the sound h. The third contains animation of the pronunciation of all the sounds in American English.